Hey everyone, it's Annie
And Brady.
from the Never Growing Up podcast, a Disney Parks podcast for adults.
Thanks so much for joining us for this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe and leave a rating for us on whatever app you're joining our conversation.
And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links for all of our accounts are in our show notes.
Enjoy the show. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the newest installment of Never Growing Up, a Disney Parks podcast for adults. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about the little bit of news we've scavenged up, and we're also going to continue our tour through Fantasyland. Welcome back, everybody. How has your week been? How's everybody doing? I'm Brady McCleary, also known to you guys as Brady Cam on Instagram, and with me, as always, my lovely, wonderful, super talented, tasty food making.
Ooh, hi, I'm Annie at WDW Collective. Party! What's up, kids? Happy Mother's Day. We're recording this on Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, all you single dads, and
Yes.
I personally am one to say Happy Mother's Day to people who have pets.
I am
know
also.
some people aren't into that, but Happy Mother's Day to you guys also.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am only a fur mama and a godmother, so that's all I got. And I appreciate it when people tell me Happy Mother's Day because I will never have my own children. But it's fine.
And I have a penis.
Oh my.
All right, guys, we actually have some
OMG.
news for you guys. It's been a long time, hence why we've been doing these tours, which have been great.
Yeah, they've been so fun.
Yeah, it's fun to walk through and talk about like our little favorite parts of each section, and we're going to continue to do that today with Fantasyland. However, we're going to talk park opening just a little bit. There's not a whole lot of information out there. I don't know if you, Annie, got the email or if it was like who it was all sent to. I think it was a pass holder email. It was explaining from the head person in charge of health at Disney parks, and she was kind of explaining kind of the idea behind the phased opening and how Shanghai is going to kind of be like the tester, and hopefully they can implement something that works well with better cleaning processes. Obviously the capacity level is going to have to change because after this I don't think they can justify shoving thousands of people in a line inside of a building.
Right. Yeah, I did get that message. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, from their chief medical officer, and I think it's a video message. I didn't really did you watch it? I don't know.
I didn't
I'm
watch
actually
it. I
just pulling it
scrolled
up.
underneath it. It had like the written
Oh, here it is.
verbiage
Yeah,
of
if you
it.
just went to the link. Oh yeah. So they talk about the phase reopening, like you were saying, the first the first opening will be Shanghai Disneyland. So that's actually happening Tuesday or no, Monday. God, what day
Yeah,
is it? Today's the
tomorrow.
10th. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's going to really be the blueprint for how they move forward opening the other parks. Disneyland recently came out saying that they're going to start allowing reservations there July 1 right now. They've been saying that for Disney World, but I really don't think that's going to actually follow through. I really don't. This is not based on anything, guys. I'm not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
this is just our theories.
Yeah, and I don't believe in people posting conspiracy theories. If you come at me on Facebook with one of your YouTube conspiracy theories, I will unfollow you, and that is the fucking truth.
Amen.
God help us all.
I don't know because I know that on the My Disney Experience app, it has like availability starting June 1.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is good things. I know that Disney Springs will be opening the 20th. as
In a
far as
phased
limited
approach, yeah.
capacity, right? Limited capacity. I know a lot of restaurants in Florida. That's where my spouse lives. I have a bunch of friends that are in the restaurant business, and they have been saying everything's open at 25% capacity. So there's plenty
Okay.
of space in between tables. Um, People are obviously happy about it, but there's also people who are uh, being real Karens about the fact that they're only opened at 25% capacity. And I actually posted something on Facebook the other day. It was like, if you were okay with the fact that a company refused to make a wedding cake for a gay couple because of their beliefs, then you
Mhm.
should be okay with a restaurant refusing to serve you because you're not wearing a mask.
Dude, facts. Holy shit. Throwing down the gauntlet. That's it right there. That's
So
it. Damn. Yes.
it's gonna be like that for a while, and even we have our trip rescheduled for August,
Oh,
and
okay.
we're kind of rethinking it. First of all, my mom works at a retirement home, so if she
Right.
goes on vacation, which she's allowed to, but if she goes, she has to take an additional 2 weeks off to self quarantine, to
Jeez.
self
Yeah.
isolate before
Mhm.
coming back to work, and then she has to pay out of her own pocket to get tested for COVID
What?
twice, and they both have to come back clear in order for her to go back to work. And not being salary and having to use that PTO, that's a lot of money that she's kind of missing out on there, or being potentially able to cash out at the end of the year, which she likes to do so that she can do her vacations, or that she can buy really nice gifts for the whole family, because my sister just keeps popping children out.
So her insurance doesn't cover that because I know my insurance covers COVID testing. I mean, I have not been tested, but I think until June. I think.
I'm not exactly sure how her insurance works. It could
Yeah.
be, I mean, if she fell ill, like while at work, I'm sure that her insurance company would pay for a test.
Right.
But because she chose to go
Oh,
on
I see. I see. I see.
vacation,
I got you.
it's like an
Okay.
elective uh,
Mm-hmm.
thing,
I got you.
so I don't know. Hopefully,
Interesting.
it all kind of goes over. Also,
Yeah.
August Disney World masks. I don't know if I'm down for that. I 100% understand it. I just don't know if, because when you guys when you're in Florida and you're walking around in the summer, it already kind of feels like you're walking around with a wet towel over your mouth anyway.
Yeah.
So add an actual perspired on mask, wet towel.
You know what? I
It's
was
gonna be
thinking of
hot.
that. I was thinking of that the other day, honest to God. I was like, how is this going to work? Cuz like I'm assuming they're probably going to want us to wear masks, and that's fine.
Mhm.
I'm fine with inconveniencing myself for a little bit for the safety of others, unlike most people.
Right.
I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people. And I would, obviously wear the mask, but I'm so like I get so hot in the summer at the parks. That's why I don't go in the summer. Um unless there's an event going on. Um
Mhm.
yeah, I was like that would be miserable.
It's gonna be hot. I did see somebody in a group that I follow. It's like an LGBT Disney group
Mhm.
that I'm in, and they were very strongly worded about how they are pro masks. And the only thing I didn't really agree with it was, in it he was like, yes, wearing a mask might impede your immune system a little bit, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not trying to get sick. So regardless, so
Yeah.
I think I might just take the option and not go.
Just not go. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. And everybody who's gonna go, I can't imagine they're gonna kick you out of the park if you're walking around without a mask. Like,
I don't know, I
I'm
would be
sure they're gonna
surprised.
want,
I wouldn't be surprised if they did cuz Disney's real strict like that.
right, but I don't think they're gonna go to that extreme. I mean, maybe if they, because honestly, how are they gonna enforce it? Because I'm sure they'd be like the Disney spirit, "Hey, please put your mask back on. Oh, thank you so much." But like, are they gonna take a picture of them and be like, "This person was caught wearing a or without a mask on. Make sure you keep your eye out."
So Disney already does that. Disney already
Sort
does
of.
take pictures of you when you walk in. No, 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 no. Like I've heard from other people who know people who work in like Homeland Security, or because Homeland Security has like its own offices at Disney and in the parks, and they do like photograph people like There's cameras everywhere, guys.
Right,
And I'm not trying to
100%.
be a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, this is really what's up. This is really what's up because that's because one of the highest targeted places from a terrorist standpoint are the Disney parks. So this is why it is the way it is.
Mhm.
And so they are taking your picture. They can find you very, very quickly. So, just be aware that that's what it is. And it, honestly, if you're not going to want to go there, it's more room for me and maybe more reason. Then at some points, I'll be able to take my mask off because there won't be as many people around.
Right.
Bye. I don't give a shit.
Bye. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's kind of the all we really have on the phased
but
reopening
it's
because
exciting.
again, there isn't a whole lot of information out there yet
Yeah,
because it's kind of a trial right
it
now,
is. Yeah.
and that's just kind of how this. I don't. A lot of people are calling it the new normal, and I don't want to call it the new normal. I think it's the new for now. You know, like
Yeah, because
we're
once the
learning,
vaccine
we're
comes.
gonna figure out how
Hmm.
to figure it out. Well, I hope with the vaccine, it's like polio, how it kind of,
Like
it
a safety
eradicated
net.
it
Yeah.
and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Uh, because I mean, we have vaccines for flus, yet people get it all year
Because it
long,
mutates so much.
every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully we
Fingers
can
crossed.
all just get back to a real normal and everything's gonna be fine, everybody's gonna stay healthy, and we can just live out the fantasy of the land of Disney. Speaking of Fantasyland,
Yes.
that's where we're going. That's where we're headed
We're
next,
there, fam. We finally made it to Fantasyland. So excited.
guys. Fantasyland. Have you ever actually just looked at it on the map?
It's huge.
I, I mean, obviously, when you walk around the park, it's massive, and I've got things to say about that. But like, there is a lot there. Like, there's a bunch. You know what I mean?
Like,
Like, let me
there's
see. There
I'm
are.
actually concerned, and we'll see how this goes, if we're gonna get through everything, in Fantasyland in an hour. Honestly. I was, like, looking through this stuff and getting stuff ready for the show, and I was like, "I don't know if we're gonna get through all this," but we'll see it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I was, yeah. Before I logged in, I was like, I don't know, because like literally there are. It's like a large column. Like honestly, if
Yeah,
the
it's the
stuff
biggest
from
land.
Liberty Square
Yeah.
would have moved over a little bit, it would have still taken a whole column plus some.
Right.
So
Indeed.
let's start as if we're going right through the castle, and the first thing you see is Prince Charming's Regal Carousel.
Oh, it's this is like OG classic Disney. I mean, any
If I
commercial
Yeah,
any
if I were
commercial.
to think of Disney, it was gonna be like the carousel
Yeah.
and the train.
Oh, yeah, this is classic, classic stuff. And I mean, any commercial you ever see, it's always like starts with them on the carousel. Like it's just it's absolutely stunning. The it's extremely intricate if you ever do. I actually now with my vertigo I'm having trouble getting on the carousel. This is really depressing for me. I have to like kind of maybe sit on the chair or like really kind of hold on to the horse, which makes me really sad. But it's
Yeah,
beautiful and the music is stunning. It's just like
yeah,
a beautiful
it's just
court.
all day long it's beautiful. Like at night it's all lit up,
Mm,
and then in the daytime you can really just see all the different, like you said, all the different details that are in it. Like if you obviously it's beautiful just passing, but if you ever like really just look at each horse or each
mhm.
item on the carousel, like even the rails that hold everything together are just so pretty.
And I'm glad you brought it up about at night. One of my favorite places to watch the nighttime fireworks, and granted, this is more for someone who goes to the parks more often, because I would highly say, like, because now that they do the fireworks, like the presentation on the castle, obviously, if you've
Hmm.
never seen it before, you got to watch it. But if you've seen like Happily Ever After like a bunch of times, like us and probably a lot of the people who listen to this podcast, they go regularly. Um, it's a great place to stand, like, right around I usually will stand to, like, the left of the carousel. Like, so if I'm facing facing the castle, like, to the left of the carousel and watch the fireworks from there. Because then the
Hmm.
fireworks surround you. It's a beautiful place to watch the fireworks, and it's not as crowded.
Right.
Hot
If
tip.
I'm with family, like if like when I go with my mom and my sister and them, like we'll probably go in front of the castle so that
Mhm.
they can see the show. But I've gone a zillion trillion times, and so I like to go watch it back in Liberty Square.
Oh, I've never
And
done
I have a
that.
little secret squirrel spot there that I like to go to.
Ooh. I've never done
Um,
it from Liberty Square. Where do you go in Liberty Square? I mean, you don't have to give me like the exact. I know it's your secret trolls place, but like where? Like not specifically.
I go around the freaking paddle
Is it?
boat.
Around the paddle boat? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Also, watching it from Thunder Mountain is
Oh,
really
I
pretty
love
because you
it.
get all of the
Yeah.
water and basically all of the Magic Kingdom because you're
I
as far east of the Magic Kingdom that you can possibly be.
I would be interested to watch it. And I don't know if it's packed or whatever, or if it's even closed off. But like, I noticed sometimes when we would wait for the Muppet Show, in that's on and off there these days. In Liberty Square, although now we're talking about Liberty Square, I would go like around the Christmas shop, and there's like kind of like some areas like to sit, and like it's very very
Mhm.
open. I would be interested to watch the fireworks from there too. But I mean, for the sake of Fantasyland, I think it's a fantastic place to go and watch it from the carousel.
It'd be like a
It
360
is a
like
360, yeah.
experience. That'd be so cool. I should try that out.
Mickey's PhilharMagic.
Oh my goodness, Mickey's PhilharMagic is one of Matt's favorite
Is it? I love
attractions
that.
at Disney parks. Like he loves going in there. Like we love the smells, we love the songs, like the wind, and it's nice and cool in there. So it's like really, it's just a fun time.
So for those who aren't familiar, Mickey's PhilharMagic is like a 4D, mostly 3D, but also 4D experience of music, like through some of like the biggest Disney animated features. And it's awesome. And it makes me cry a little bit. I do think it
It
needs
needs
updated.
it. Oh, I was just gonna say it desperately needs
It
some
desperately
updating. We
needs
have
updated.
much better technology, even to the point where maybe they wouldn't need to wear glasses. Like you, if they just updated the animation or the style of the filming,
Hmm.
um, they could make it pretty interesting without the need of the glasses because it's just to the point in there where you kind of gotta like squint and turn your head
Yeah,
to really see anything. But the smells are fun, and I'm pretty sure Spireside has candles that smell like it.
I think so
Uh,
too. Yeah. Eh,
and then you get, I mean, they do spritz you a little bit with water. I don't like, but that's fine. You know, it's fun. It's part of the fun.
There's a couple moments that I can't handle, and I think it's when Donald's being like sucked into that vortex. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like
Yeah.
really close in your face. Oh, you know what? You know what part also bothers me is when in BR guest moment when they're popping the champagne bottles. That
And
scares the shit out of me.
go,
Every single time I've been on this ride like countless times, and every time it goes.
that's one of the best smells too, though. Like
Oh, it
the
is. Yeah,
smell of the
the pies and
champagne.
stuff. Yeah, and the champagne. Yeah, it scares the holy hell out of me. I don't know why. I think it's just very alarming, and I can imagine some kids do get a little freaked out, and I don't
Mhm.
blame them. I mean, it's kind of a lot.
But you hear them all giggle, and it's
Yeah.
fun.
It's
It's a good time, and the wait is never more than 10 minutes. Like
yeah, I'm shocked that this is a fast. I feel like they should be not wasting a fast pass on this. I don't understand. You never need a fast pass for this ride. It's ridiculous.
no,
If it's over a 10-minute wait, then you're there on like Christmas Day.
right? And like again, it's just like a 10 minute wait. It's there's no need for a fast pass. Don't waste your time on it. If you're gonna use a fast pass for anything in Fantasyland, one of the big ticket items would be Peter Pan's Flight, which is next on our list.
It is. That
That
transition.
one,
Hot damn, kid. You
I
are
know,
so good at it.
spicy, tasty.
Spicy. I can feel it.
So Peter Pan's Flight,
Let's talk about Venus.
the line. Okay, so the line itself. If you do unfortunately get yourself stuck in a 75-minute wait, which is being kind of
First off, what
generous
are you
for them.
doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Second of all, I will say the queue is really neat.
Since they've
It's really
redone it.
pretty. Yeah, they've redone it. It's really pretty. They have a lot of interactive things in there, including Tinkerbell sprinkling Tinker dust, pixie dust.
Same idea.
Yeah, she's throwing her ass and spreading pixie dust everywhere, and it's
Hmm.
cute. The queue is really cute.
It
The ride itself is very
here's my
there.
it's a black light, constantly moving ride, which is why I don't understand why it takes the line is so insane. And the line is insane from like literally the moment of the park opens. And I have only ridden Peter Pan's Flight probably like once in the past 5 years, and I think it was last year the last time I rode it. And it was the first time I got to go through the new queue, which goes in through the Darling's bedroom.
Mhm.
It is beautiful. It's really, really well done.
It's so cute.
So stunning. But again, And I love the ride. I really do. Like, I've always loved this ride. You get on like the little, for those of you who don't know, you get on like a little pirate ship, and it's like you're flying through London, and then you fly into the story when you get into Neverland and all that jazz. Which, by the
And it's
way,
really cute when you first take off and the cast
oh, it's
members
super
are
cute.
pretending to sprinkle the pixie dust on you as the bar comes down.
You know what? That's a really I would love to interview a cast member who works on this ride. I would love to understand the bullshit that they put up with, because last time it was the last time I rode the ride, we magically got a fast pass, because again, this is a hard one to get a fast pass for too. It's like right up there with Seven Dwarfs
And then you have to decide if you want it for Seven Doors or
or
for
Peter
Peter
Pan. Yeah,
Pan.
yeah, yeah. That's a great point. And like and once in the ride was down, and people were lining up, and like people who had fast passes, they weren't, because sometimes when the ride is down, they'll say, okay, you have a fast pass for like the rest of the day, because we
Mhm.
don't know when this ride's gonna come. Well, they didn't do that for Peter Pan. They kind of just like kept us hanging. We were all standing outside, like way almost to the carousel, if you can imagine where it's at. And we're all like standing in this heat and like, what is going on? And those poor cast members. I would love to hear what they deal with, because that ride's nuts in terms of waiting
Mhm.
and what they got to put up with. Because you're probably not dealing with a lot of little kids at Seven Dwarfs like you are at this ride. And it's
Right,
probably
and
really hectic.
I love the ride, it's just not worth a 75-minute wait, and
No.
I would al I'd
Ha-
also rather get a fast pass for Seven Doors.
Same. Have you been on the Peter Pan at Disneyland?
Of course, I grew up going to Disneyland.
Well, that's true. So, is it different? Because I have not been on it, because the line is, again, this is not something specific to Disney World. It's just as long. And so I've never been on it. Can't get a max pass, nothing.
I honestly I honestly don't remember.
Oh, it's okay.
It's been over 8 years since I've been to California, so
Well, speaking of Disneyland, this ride is in a very small comparison to the Disneyland version, in my opinion.
it's a small,
It's a
small
very small world.
world. It's a it's so small. The
It's
one here
so
is so
small.
underwhelming
It
because
is.
and I think it's only because again, I grew up going to Disneyland and then seeing this one I was like,
You're like, what is
"Where's the
this?
rest of it?"
It's shocking. And I think a lot. Do you wonder if it's a lot of it's weather related? Because obviously they don't have anywhere near the rain that Florida gets. So if you're familiar with the Disneyland version of Small World, it's outside. The actual ride, like you're outside on your boat for like a good 10 seconds, maybe 20, and then the whole ride's inside. But
Mhm.
I'm wondering if like maybe that's why. But like the interior, like when you walk in, you get into the queue, you see the same kind of like architecture as the Disneyland one, but like it's nowhere
It's
near.
like to a quarter scale.
It's to a
It's
quarter
so
scale.
small.
It's so
Um,
small.
I haven't really been on the one here, or sorry, on the one at Disney World much. I
Yeah.
imagine they're mostly the same.
The Disneyland one is
Probably a little
longer.
longer,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
at
longer.
Disneyland.
It's definitely
I
longer. It's
just
definitely
don't
bigger
know.
inside. IMO.
Just trying to think. I'm trying to compare. I guess now that I think about it, a lot of the rides at Disney World are like indoorsy,
Yeah, they are.
like because even like Frozen, you go through a building to start the line.
Well, look at the Tea Party. I mean, that's completely outside at Disneyland. I think everything
Yeah,
here just has to deal with Florida, because like once May
the
hits, it rains
rain.
every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
until like November. So,
Hmm.
but it's, I mean, hey, if you want air conditioning, it's fantastic. Lately, you know
If you
what I've
want a
noticed?
song stuck in your
If you
head,
want a song
do
stuck in there,
it.
hey, It's a Small World is my hand washing song to make sure I get 20 seconds.
Oh, that's
I start
cute.
from It's a World of Laughter, a World of Tears, and then I go to the refrain. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world. So that's like 20 seconds. So if y'all needed a new hand washing song, get on that train. It's my hand washing song.
Mine's bitch better have my money.
Oh, what's the
Who y'all
cadence
think
there?
y'all frontin' on? Like blah blah blah. I'm just kidding. It was just so drastically different from Small World that I
Oh,
thought
it
it'd
is
be
very.
funny.
I forget. Nick has a funny one too, and I think it is a Disney song, and I can't remember what it is. I'll have to remember. But Have you ever gone to Enchanted Tales with Belle? I have not, and I don't think this is probably.
I have, and
You
I
have?
was a knight.
Oh my god, how cute.
Yep, I was a knight, and when you do it, they give you a little bookmark, and
Oh,
it's
that's
fun.
cute. That's cute
I was
because
probably the bravest knight they ever had, so whatever.
were you there with you and Matt, or was it when you went with the family?
It was just me and that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what does she do? Just read a story?
Yeah, they basically kind of go through the whole tale of
Oh,
Beauty and the
okay.
Beast,
Okay.
and the room is very interactive. They
Cute.
have a lot of interaction from the guests. I think that's why it's kind of long.
Mhm.
So I would absolutely fast pass that if you can. Let me look. I might close out.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
because it is long. Like it's a long wait.
Oh, it's like
Because
just a long
again,
yeah.
it's a long story. Yeah, and you kind of go through the building and things come alive. It's a lot of fun. It's really cute. If you have kids and they love Belle and
Sure.
Beauty and the Beast story, 100% I would do it.
That's what I assumed. That's why I mean, obviously, that's why I've not gone and done it, and I haven't gone when I went there with my nephews and nieces, we didn't go to Magic Kingdom together, so I didn't get to experience that part. Um, e
Oh, it even says right here. It says enjoy an interactive story adventure featuring Belle, Luminaire, and possibly even you.
even you.
Cute.
Mhm. Let's keep moving through, New Fantasyland here.
Yeah, guys, we're like chugging. Okay, first
We're
of all, can we
chugging.
talk about Fantasyland as a thing? I think they almost dropped the ball as hard as Toy Story Land, in my opinion.
Oh,
It was
really?
under construction for
It
so long
was.
when they
It
did
was under
that
construction forever.
expansion, and it's boring. It's so like if you obviously
Really?
Disneyland just knew what it was doing. At Disneyland, they have really beautiful trees everywhere. There's twinkling lights. There's lanterns all over the place. Here, it's just a giant concrete jungle, and then in the middle of it, they have like parts of a castle.
Do you wonder, because yeah, so here's my thing on Fantasyland. I mean, I think we kind of disagree on this. I like New Fantasyland. I think it's really pretty. I think it's very empty, and I'm wondering if that's just because they're it's okay. We can disagree on this. I just wonder if they're just gonna eventually build more stuff there. And I'm assuming they probably that's why they expanded it the way they did. Because I feel like that whole area, like there's like Be Our Guest, like you have that whole Beauty and the Beast area, right? There's like Gaston's Tavern,
Yeah,
which we're gonna talk about. There's Be Our Guest, there's Enchanted Stories with Belle, and then there's like a lot of blank, and then there's Seven Dwarfs, and then Little Mermaid. And I'm like, what? Like it's just very strange to me because it just feels like there's a lot of open space. And I fully agree. I think it took incredibly long for them to build New Fantasyland, and then even after New Fantasyland was built, it took them really long to put in Seven Dwarves, and I was always
yeah.
surprised by that, and I was curious as to
Well,
why.
they had to let all the concrete dry
I guess.
because
I mean, like by
it's
the
so
air.
much.
I don't know. I was just like, this is very odd. I just thought it took a really, really long time. I'm hoping they do build it up because I do think it's a very open space, and it's very odd to me that it's like that
Mhm.
open.
It is very underutilized, very
Yes.
crowded, very hot because again, there's no trees.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
true.
but like so yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like because each section is pretty cute. Like
Yeah.
Be Our Guest restaurant. It's cute. It's a little castle, and then Gaston's little area is really cute.
Right.
Um, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride is really pretty with all the little lights with Winnie the Pooh and all that. We'll
Right.
get into all that. The only thing I have mixed emotions about also is Little Mermaid's grotto.
Oh, let's get into it. That's our next stop here.
So yes, that was my segue.
Dude,
Um,
fire flames, fire flames.
fireplanes,
Fire flames.
double fuego. So I mean, it's cute. Like it's really pretty. I love the water and everything, and all the colors are really nice.
Uh-huh.
But I think we've talked about it before. I have tryptophobia, and that's like even just thinking about it makes the left side of my face go numb.
Yeah,
The porous small holes and stuff like that, and they have a lot of that because my face is numb.
Oh
The
god,
shells
because the
and
coral
stuff
and all
that's
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the coral and the shells that are in the
I hear
concrete
you.
are like cut in half, so it's
Yeah.
like the inner workings of it.
Uh-huh.
And I looked it up because literally every time I think about it, my face,
Oh, I
just the
can't.
left
I
half,
have tryptophobia too. I can't
literally
handle it.
tingles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my face tingles
Ugh,
and like the
ah,
left side of my body goes
gross.
numb. So I looked it up and it's like an anxiety
Oh yeah, it's real.
response.
Oh, it's super
And I didn't.
real.
It just so that's what I don't like about that. I mean, it's fun. The colors are fun. The ride's fun, but I can't even look at the ground.
No, I agree. And honestly, like the main reason why I ride this ride, because it's not like that eventful. It's obviously very cute if you or your child love Ariel. So obviously get on that. The line is usually not very long. It is a fast pass ride. It's an easy fast pass to get. Um, and it's a constantly moving ride. You're in the same, basically the same shell that you're on in the Nemo ride in Epcot.
Mhm.
Let's be very honest. And it's pleasant. It's cute. My favorite part is when I come up upon Ursula, because she just looks absolutely crazy, and I I love Ursula. She's just a wacky bitch, and so I
Me.
love to get like a boomerang when I come around that for of Ursula, but otherwise I just could care less. It's a cute ride. It's great for children. It's great if you just want a quick ride to get onto. You usually don't have to wait very long for it. But otherwise it's like, meh.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's just there.
It's basically
Indeed.
Finding Nemo, but Little Mermaid,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
which is silly, like Pete's Silly Slideshow. Um, I've never done that actually, so I have no idea what to
I
say about
have
this.
done it, I think once or twice, and I've walked around, and so this is in the whole Storybook Circus area.
Mhm.
So once you go past, well,
Knockoff Toontown.
not it is knockoff Toontown. It used to what it used to be called was it Toontown? Because obviously the real
Uh,
Toontown's in Disneyland, but it used to be called something else that was something like Toonish Toontown, whatever.
as
Anyways,
long as I've been going, I think it's been the
yeah,
circus
it was.
area.
It's been honestly, it's been a couple things. It used to be where Minnie and Mickey's house was, very similar to Toontown and Disneyland. Uh, but now they've turned it into a circus type situation because that's where they moved um Dumbo. I don't know, were you there when so you've been there the whole time, anytime you've gone it was Storybook Circus, so you were not there when Dumbo was like right next to the carousel. You were not
I
there for that.
don't think
Okay,
so.
yeah,
I really
so
don't think so.
that and the carousel were pretty much like the centerpieces of the magic or of Fantasyland. So they moved Dumbo over to Storybook Circus, which in my opinion was weird. Have you Oh, we'll get to Dumbo in a minute. We'll talk about Dumbo. I'll stop talking about it. But yeah, Pete's Silly Slideshow is in the back of Storybook Circus, and there's some like cute. It's a cute waiting area. It's obviously a lesser wait than waiting for Minnie and Mickey, but character meeting. Here we are. End of story.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
here we are. The end.
The end. That is that. Casey.
So next up, right in front of that area is Casey Jr.'s Splash and Soak Station,
Yeah.
which, like, the smell of wet children,
God,
like,
help us
gross.
all. Especially in the summer, guys. I mean, it's just foul. I think it's cute and fun for if you had a child. I'd be literally, if I had a child, my mother, actually, let me just say, my parents never used to let me get in this stuff because then I would stink like a wet child. And
Mhm.
I fully agree with their decision because it
I mean,
stinks.
it's cute. I feel like it's inappropriate to have an actual theme park. Like, it does get really hot. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's good
gets
to have,
hot. So I
honestly.
kind of understand that. But I feel like it's something that would be more appropriate for one of the resorts.
It's basically what
Because
you
it's
would find
just,
in a resort.
yeah, it's just a giant, like, wet pad. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
all it is.
I don't know. It's just there, and then it blocks the bathroom, and so you have to like dodge water to get to it, and you have to dodge wet children to
Yes.
get to it.
Yes.
And it blocks one of the exits or entrances to the train.
Yeah, when it's riding.
So
Mhm. It's
it's just
annoying.
kind of in the way. It's a
It's
nuisance.
a nuisance. I mean, we're gonna be honest. I mean, I think they do serve a purpose, and I think it's probably good, especially when kids start to melt down. I would probably throw my kid in one of those things. Again, I have no parenting experience outside of being a godmother, so I would probably just shove them into that thing, let them blow off some steam, and then take a nap. I think that's the purpose of
Yeah,
it, but for me, it's a nuisance.
yeah. Um, so right to the right of that,
Yeah.
if you're walking in, is the Barnstormer. Have you ever been on the Barnstormer?
I have. I've only ridden it once, and I rode it with my nephews, and it is, like, quite a little coaster. It's really fun, though.
It's a little coaster, don't you know it?
Don't you know? It's a little coaster.
Yeah, it I think if you have a younger child or, maybe even, like, a young teen who's just kind of afraid of roller
Mhm.
coasters, like, this is a good, like, a good starter roller coaster.
Super
It's fun,
cute.
it's short. The line, I think, can be a little long
Yeah,
sometimes,
it can be.
um, but it's not, like, Space Mountain long, you know, it's I guess it's appropriate. It's an appropriate weight. There's
Yeah,
only
it's not
one train
terrible.
because the track is very small, so there's only one
Yeah.
train, that goes around. So I don't know. It's fun. It's like if you're gonna be over there next to that cesspool of children, like that's for you.
I mean, I really like the Barnstormer. I think my nephews now can handle, and my oldest nephew is 8, and, I think he can
Oh my
handle,
god, my oldest nephew is 8.
yeah, he can handle bigger stuff now, and when I say bigger stuff, well, actually, I don't know. I mean, he's done, like, Splash Mountain and stuff, so he can handle it, but, it's super cute. We rode it in the evening, which was really pretty. I never go into the Magic Kingdom at night anymore, and it's just so, I think, like, next time, because of all this has been going on, I think we're gonna do a really, really long Disney vacation where I can maybe be there for 7 days. Usually, we're only there for 5 at most, and so I
Mhm.
can spend some evenings in the park, in Magic Kingdom, because we
I
never get to
Yeah.
anymore.
I would absolutely recommend it because all the lights are so
So
beautiful. We all
beautiful.
know my favorite time, and I have a whole other Disney account called Lights at Disney.
Love that account.
I just love, love, love all the lights, and it's kind of like it's like your reward for being there all day. You're hot, you're
Oh, I love
sweaty,
that. I love the
you
way you said
trudge
that.
through the
Yeah.
day all day long, and then at the end of the day, it starts cooling down, the sun starts going down, all the lights come to life, all the twinkling lights in the trees are there, and it just it's like a whole other world. It's another magical moment
I
that
love that.
is built in. It's so beautiful. I highly recommend at least do one. And like even because I know you don't like to spend the whole day at the parks, so I mean, do you do your resort lounging in the day and then go for the last half?
Honestly, that's what
Especially
I'm
now that you're a
saying.
pass holder, it's totally worth
Yeah,
it.
that's the kind of the funky thing about it, though, because Nick's not a pass holder, and
Oof,
yeah, that's kinda like the weird thing about it, and,
damn it, Nick.
although what we were going to do on our trip that was supposed to happen in April, we were gonna do something like that. We were actually gonna do well, I think we were gonna just do, he was gonna golf in the morning, I was just gonna hang out in the pool, and then just go to Epcot in the evening, but, I think we should just have another day, because he's not using we're not going to Europe this year, unfortunately, because of the situation, and, so he has more vacation time, that I don't know what we're gonna do with, and hopefully, by the end of the year, maybe we can go and
Mhm.
spend some more time there, but I just really wanna do Magic Kingdom in the evening. I haven't done it in so long.
Do it 'cause I said so.
Yeah. What's next? What's next? Oh,
We
the big
actually have
oh my
Dumbo.
god. Have you been in there's 2 waiting areas, right?
Mhm.
There's an outside one, and then there's that indoor play area that literally almost gave
Yeah.
me a seizure.
I don't really remember the line too much. I've only been on it like maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but so few far and in between, I don't really remember too much about it, especially the
Yeah.
last time I went on it was, I was with my cousin who knew somebody who worked as a cast member on that ride, so we kind of didn't wait.
Yeah, and I think, like, okay, so last time I was on it's something that Nick and I don't normally ride, obviously. I mean, we could. It's not like obviously. I mean, like, we could. It's just the waiting process. I do really like what they've done with the waiting process there, and I would not be surprised if they implement a lot of this from a social distancing aspect, because what they do
Oh,
is they get, like, you go through the line up to a certain point, and then you get like when you go to a restaurant and you checked in and they give you
yeah,
that
you
little
get like
buzzer.
a callback
Yeah,
buzzer.
they do that there. And so you could kind of go outside, or you can go inside to the place where I thought I was gonna
Forgot about that.
literally lose my fucking mind. It's like in
Oh, do you think it'll all be kinda like trying to get into Batu?
Yes, I 100% do, and the reason for that is because 'cause they've been talking about that a lot. They've been
Okay.
saying that they're gonna do a lot more virtual queuing because
I
of
am just,
this.
like, so far behind in times, like, that was, like, my major brain blast
No,
just
honestly,
now.
like, sometimes I just
Like,
don't.
Jimmy Neutron, got a
No,
blast!
it's absolutely true, and, I think that's I was who was I ta oh, actually, you know what? I talked about that on that live stream I was on. My friend if you guys haven't seen it, my friend, from college, we were both went to music school together, he is an awesome influencer, promoter in Southern California, and he has this show called Binge Bitches, and he's starting to do he watched the Star Wars shows over quarantine, and so he asked me to come on it because he knows I love Star Wars. So that was one of the things we were talking about. I mentioned, I said, I really think some people think that the Star Wars, like the whole Batu, the whole Galaxy's Edge thing didn't go off very well. Honestly, I don't think it's the case. And I think that's going to be the future, especially
I think it
now.
was so successful, nobody
Yes.
noticed.
No, it was so successful, nobody noticed because they did it in such an organized fashion.
Yeah.
And because it was so organized, people thought that, oh, they weren't having waits of 5 hours, so it wasn't successful. No, 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 son. If you showed up at like 5 in the morning when people were all trying to get in the virtual queues, then then we'll have a conversation about how successful it was. Um, but and I said this on the show. I said I think that this is going to be the future with social distancing because people can't wait in line. You can't have people wait in line
Hmm,
right now.
right.
So I think, or I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures of Shanghai Disney, how they are doing social distancing lines, which looks like a whole mess. I'm like, just do a virtual queue, and if you do that, then I think it'll work a lot better. And I really think that's what they're going to do.
I think it's I wonder if they'll go back to, like, e-tickets and such because, obviously, the capacity is gonna be not nearly as insane as it was.
Right,
Like, I'm sure they're gonna lower the capacity of the amount of people able to get in, but then at the same time, like, if they're gonna do it like Batu, it's gonna be so hard to go on all the
right,
rides like you once were sort of able to do as long as you really fricking booked it.
right.
So it's all gonna be really interesting. Again, this is all just us theorizing and
Exactly,
such,
exactly. And then I'm
but
wondering. I mean, there's always we've talked about this show quite a few times, but I'm dying. Not of COVID, and I wonder if they're gonna turn to Max Pass because Max Pass is, like, very much just in time. You get your passes as it's available, and so it's not like this
mhm.
pre-requested thing. I mean, and honestly, I think that's gonna be the future of theme parks in general, and it's far more convenient and far more non-hectic, in my opinion. But some people really like to wait in line. I don't understand that process, but y'all do you. Live your truth. I ain't judging. I'm judging, but
I'm
I'm
judging,
allowing you to live your truth.
but I'm not.
I'm judging you while you live your truth.
It's a free country, freedom to live the way you want, but also freedom to let me judge.
Yeah, I'm gonna judge you for not wearing a mask and endangering the lives of others. But you do you. Well, so have you done the indoor queue at Dumbo?
I think so. I
That
don't.
indoor, it's like dark.
It's the one to the right.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Okay. I again, I think that was the one that I was in line with my cousin who knew the friend, and so we weren't in there long. We kind of like went out of it and then stood next to the cast member for a
And it's
while
not
while we waited for our number.
right. And it's not even a queue. It's a play area, which
Yeah.
is genius for people with children who are okay with their children playing in communal playing areas. I will be
Mhm.
curious to see if that actually continues these days. But it's like there's a climbing shit, there's balls, there's like all kinds of stuff they can do. It's really smart. In my opinion, very, very smart. The lighting in there for someone who has vertigo and who has like slight issues with stimulation, like light stimulation, it's no go for me. I thought I was about to have a panic attack in that place. I had to leave. Like I had to leave. It's just too much. The lights were weird. Yeah. I can't imagine anyone who is on the spectrum to be okay in that room. But that's just my personal journey. I
It's
don't know.
my
But
journey.
I think it's brilliant though. I do think it's brilliant because, you probably have like a 60-minute wait in all honesty. and you can let your kids roam free and play and do all these kinds of things instead of just standing in the line and everyone bitching and it's air conditioned and it's great. So, God doesn't give with both hands, I guess. And then, of course, you ride the iconic ride, which just goes in a circle and you go up and down. But iconic.
Which goes in circles and you go up and down, much like the Aladdin ride we talked about
They're the
a couple weeks
same.
ago. They're the same.
Yeah, I guess if you want to go, I mean, like personally, if I were to choose, I would choose Dumbo just because it's classic.
It's the classic,
It's the
yeah.
classic.
I would also choose Dumbo. Like me and my mom, very close. Uh, the "Baby of Mine" song
Oh my
always
god, I
kind of
can't even talk
tugs at
about
my
that.
heartstrings.
Cannot talk about it. Did you see the movie? Did you see the
Hannah,
Tim Burton movie? I know we talked about this like eons
I
ago.
never saw it.
I never saw it either. I didn't really want to, quite honestly. It didn't really appeal to me. But I hear the baby mine scene is like, no, I can't. I can't mentally handle anything emotional. Oh my god, we had one of my very, very dear friends, who's from Europe. Him and his husband are both from Europe. They have two beautiful children. They have them here in the States through surrogate. And they're deciding to move back to Europe now. And
Oh,
so we had like a big goodbye Zoom. And everyone's like saying like their goodbyes and like all this stuff. And like I'm just sitting there like horrified because I can't be emotional. I'm really bad at it. And it's not that I
you're
don't have
really
the
bad.
feelings, I just can't, like, I'm horrified to express them. So, I was just sitting there and I was just, like, trying to express myself, and I felt like I was dying inside myself, and it was so off. I felt like I was like, I hope you don't take this as me, like, this is what I actually feel like. I'm just very embarrassed."
Yeah, no, I 100% get it.
Yeah.
Like when, uh, like for me and my mom, like when we do go to Disney together, our goodbyes are very quick.
Mhm.
Um, and then I go in my car and cry for 7 days. Like
Right, no, I mean, like,
I,
same. I
so
can't do
it's
it.
like we understand. Like okay, I'll see you later, and then like both of us just we have to part. So it's like it's time to go. Okay, love you, bye.
Right.
Like hug
Okay.
later. Like basically, like when I go up to Ohio to visit my family, I like borderline just want to ghost them
I
because that
know.
would be easier for
My
me.
god, I feel the
Like,
same way. I feel the same way, like, I
but
just
at the
can't
same
do it.
time, I don't want the children to. I don't think they would understand me just leaving yet.
I
You
know.
know, like
I know.
maybe when they're in their teens, they would be like, "Oh, totally, just go." But as of now, like I don't want them to wake up and be like, "Wait, where's Uncle Brady? He left without saying
Oh,
goodbye." Like,
no.
did you go get milk and cigarettes? Is he ever coming back?
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. I feel that way, and I don't mean it to be like I'm unfeeling. It means, like, I just got a lot going on, and for me to put it out there would be I would, like, dissolve, and I would explode. Like,
You
for
sure you're not a
example,
Scorpio?
well, I'm an Aries. Aren't we all kinda like aren't you one of my compatible signs? Are Scorpios compatible with me? I forget.
I'm not sure.
But,
I just know that we're heartless.
I know, I love Scorpios. I love a lot of friends who are Scorpios and, like, because I just love their energy, and and I feel
We
it
got a lot of it.
because Aries are also murderous beings, so
Anywho,
okay,
we went from Dumbo to
the
astrology.
murder, I don't know what's going
I wonder what Dumbo's star sign
on.
is.
What is Dumbo's star sign? We need to know. But how about we take a pause? Because there's still a lot more to go, and I said this at the
Yeah,
beginning of the show, I was
guys,
like, "I don't know if we're gonna make it."
we made it halfway through Fantasyland because again, it's very
Yeah.
large. So we are going to pick up next time, continuing with Fantasyland,
Yeah.
and I mean we haven't even touched the restaurants
Yeah, we
and the
haven't gotten
menus,
there yet.
so
There's a lot
we
to
still have
say.
a lot to go through. So I think next week when we talk about Fantasyland or the rest of Fantasyland,
Mhm.
there aren't a whole lot of rides left, not a whole lot more to say. So we'll just breeze through it, talk about the restaurants, and then move on to Tomorrowland.
This was so much fun. I mean, obviously Fantasyland is kinda like the hallmark of Magic Kingdom, and it's so exciting to talk about it in detail.
In detail.
Yup.
I just love it.
I know.
I just love
I
it.
love it.
I'm looking at the map. It is so fucking big.
I know.
Jesus.
That's what she said, or that's what he said.
That's what they
That's
say.
what they say.
Oh, you know what? Something to think about, for, till we come back next week, guys. How weird is it gonna be being on Barnstormer and then looking over and seeing Tron?
Ooh, facts. Facts and figures. Yes, that's the truth. Oh my god, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Huh.
Dude, you were,
So just
like,
think about that, guys,
thought-provoking.
and
You were thought-provoking today. That is my compliment to you.
guys, thank you. It's been so fun, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying our virtual tours. If you guys want us to kind of dive in deeper to anything, feel free to message us on our Instagram. You can talk to us on Never Growing Up podcast Instagram. You can talk to us on each of our personal Instagrams, um, WDW Collective, and whatever mine is, Brady Cam. I couldn't think of
I was
it.
like,
Um,
"Do you need assistance?"
that's why I started with yours. I was like, what the fuck is my name? So we are enjoying doing this with you guys so much. Like it's letting us experience Disney without being able to experience Disney because again we both had to miss out on our
Yeah.
planned trips. I cannot believe it's already been a month since yours.
I know. I think about that all the
Blows my
time
mind.
because
Blows my mind.
April was supposed to be a very busy month for me. Obviously, I was going to the parks, I had a bunch of competitions with my singers that we obviously didn't get to do. We had some in May that we already missed, that they were canceled. It's a very my sister had a baby. Like it's just so many things happen, and we were all just like stuck in our houses, and it's just wild, wild, wild times.
Wild. Well, guys, another fun filled episode of
Yes.
Never Growing Up, a Disney Parks podcast for adults, has come your way. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Or I
Yeah.
guess, well, yeah, because it's going to be Monday or Tuesday by the time you guys
Yeah.
hear this. So have a great rest of the week. Be safe. Go out there, wash your
Wash your
hands.
hands.
Um,
Wear a
Another
mask.
thing I would really recommend, go buy some technology safe alcohol wipes and clean your damn phone.
Dude, facts. Clean your fucking phone.
Clean
It's gross.
your fucking phone,
It's real
guys.
gross. It's amazing. Like I feel
Oh my
so
god.
justified. I've been a germaphobe since like I was a child. And so I just die over like how people are like figuring out a lot of the things that I do on the reg when I would travel are just like nuanced things now. Like I'm like, what were you all doing, yo?
What? I shouldn't touch my shopping cart and then shove
Come
my whole
on.
hand into my mouth?
Wild.
Kids. All right, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until next
See
week.
you guys.
Bye.